Hey guys, good morning to y'all. I've been sick for a week, so sorry for having a big gap in my uploaded video. Anyways, this question kept coming up here and there, so I figured I have a few minutes on this drive that I could talk to you guys about it. Which truck do you buy? As far as Cummins go, as far as hot shotting goes, okay guys, I own one Power Stroke and I don't own a single Duramax. I do have one Duramax in the fleet, but I don't own it. Good friend of mine owns it. So anyways, so that's why it's specifically about Cummins here. First question is, are you wanting to do it full-time or part-time? If you're going to do full-time, no matter how mechanically inclined you are, go with a brand new truck. It is a more expensive option, but it's a consistent option. It's a matter of consistency. If you want to do it 100%, meaning Monday through Friday, and haul as many loads as you can, go with the brand new truck. That's just the way to go, because older trucks, they just need more time. I'll get into that later in the video. A newer truck, you're gonna buy it if everything goes well. You know, there's always a bad apple from the whole batch, and you're gonna run into problems. Some people are, some people aren't. So figure that truck out. Everything goes well. Push comes to shove, delete it if you have to, and just keep trucking. 300,000 miles, you're set. Now, got that out of the way. Now, if you're the guy that wants to have a backup truck or a part-time deal, meaning you'll work quote unquote full-time, but you're not stressing it. Financially you're somewhat set. You just need consistency of income, more or less, to fulfill that bank account. Sooner or later you're gonna run out, so therefore you want to do something more or less part-time, full-time type of deal. And if you're mechanically inclined, perfect, you hit it. You can buy an older truck, save some money. But another thing I'm underlining, if you are mechanically inclined. If you are not, don't waste your money, don't waste your time, don't get into this crap, because it's going to be nothing but a nightmare for you. You cannot, and once again, you cannot buy an old truck for hot shotting and not be mechanically inclined, because your monthly payment is going to be a joke compared to your maintenance payment. Your maintenance bill end of the month, because DOT is going to be all up in your business, and especially running an older truck. The chances are they're not wasting their time on an 05 compared to a 2015 or a 2017 truck. You get the drift there. So they'll be picking on you more, and you gotta stay in top shape. Now, it's not an issue. It really isn't. It's not much, but it's always little things, all of a sudden your e-brake cable snaps. All of a sudden you're starting to leak oil. All of a sudden you're starting to leak coolant. Like for example, a water pump change out on a Cummins is such a simple task, but that's if you got, your basic mechanical skills. Now, if you don't know, I'm talking more than just an oil change. I'm talking someone that could figure out a little bit more than an oil change. I'm not gonna get into. You get the picture here. If you can figure out how to change a water pump, I guess that's pretty much the line right there. Are you somewhat mechanically inclined, or are you not? Because little things like changing out the water pump. Yes, a water pump is a little thing. It ain't nothing big here. You just move a few things out of the way, unbolt that thing, get it out, put another pump in there. Make sure it's nice and clean. The surface is clean. O-rings there. Voila, you got yourself a new water pump. Do your coolant and all that. Great. Little things like that water pump are gonna arise left and right because it's an older truck, and that's fine. Like I said, you could have e-brake cable snapping, you could have brakes all of a sudden getting weak on you. Yeah, they still work. Yeah, they'll do the job until you rear-end someone, or you're some genius like me. My 99 had weak brakes, and I was coming down a hill, and I needed to come to a stop, and I couldn't come to a stop. And what I ended up doing is coming to a stop to the middle of the intersection. I freaked. I was lucky I didn't hit anyone. Lucky I didn't get myself in a lawsuit. And that's when I called it quits, because I didn't have the time to dig into that truck at that time. I was just too busy. I went out. Just too many things came down on me with that old truck that I went out and bought this new truck. So little things like that, you have to stay on top of it, you know. If you're mechanically inclined like myself, but you don't have time, you're gonna get pushed out to a new truck. Even a guy like myself, sorry for the shake, you guys. Even a guy like myself, I'm gonna say I'm about 80-90% for the new trucks. You know, what do I have? 6? Okay, whatever. 6 or 7 brand new Dodges, and then 2 old Dodges and 1 Ford. Well, initially it should have been just 1 old truck, but I ended up with 3 of them. Long story short, but yeah, I'm not buying no more old trucks, period. Not because they're a bad investment. They don't fit me very well, because my guys at the shop, spend so much time on these old trucks. Instead of spending time on these trucks, you know, working on them, spending money on my mechanic, I could just be on top with having a payment, sending the truck out. For example, I gotta park the truck for a day or two to do maintenance. And guys, sometimes we don't have time to do regular maintenance. That's how busy sometimes we get. How are you gonna do a service and stuff like that? Meaning outside the regular maintenance. Now, what I was saying, you know, if I have to park the truck for a day or two, for that day or two, my truck could make me a lot more than just a payment. So there you have it, you know. Now, the kicker is, if you're doing part-time, you know, the truck's going to be spending some time in park, then yeah, your payment's slowly going to be eating at you. Your insurance premiums are going to be higher in a newer truck. They're going to be eating at you slowly. But what's going to eat at you the most is your breakdowns and your servicing. You know, if you can't do them yourself, oh guys, you're out of luck. So anyways, I don't know if I'll separate this or not. I want to talk real quick. I'm coming up to my destination. I want to talk about what years and what years to stay away from and what years are best. They all got issues, okay? If you think a 5.9 Cummins is a bulletproof engine from the factory and you could just take off and drive for 1,000,000 miles and not do a darn thing, you're wrong. Especially in the hot shodding. The engines are not the problem. They're wonderful engines, but they have little things. Like if you take go as old as a 12 valve, guys, you can make any truck be comfortable, and quit this nonsense. Oh, this truck's better, you know, the interior's better, the interior's worse, you can or you can't do it. Yeah, I mean, it's true, you know, the older trucks are a little bit less convenient, but you could set them up to suit yourself, you know. You don't have to stick with stock chairs, or seats, sorry, I'm calling them chairs. You don't have to stick with stock seats, you know. You can put a you know, modern seat in there and be comfortable and all that. That's just a bunch of nonsense. Get that out of the way. Back to what I was saying. You could go as old, I'm talking about like a 94 to a 98 12 valve. Great engines, but then they have those killer Dow problems, right? Pin comes out, might not do a darn thing, might toast your engine, meaning crack your case and lose all your oil. But also with the 12 valves, now don't get all upset about this, but they ain't a decent transmission out of those 12 valves, meaning those automatics, they're great for stock. Anything more than that, you're gonna be blowing trannies. Now, a stock 12 valve, I'm saying stock, 100% stock, no one messing with, no fueling, nothing, you're not gonna be happy. You're not gonna last long. You know, climbing hills so slow, doing this and that, it's just not gonna work out for you. So you're gonna turn up the fuel. Well, then you're gonna end up putting money into the transmission. Now, you put money into the transmission, do you really want to do that on a 4-speed automatic? No, not really, not for towing. Bottom line, 6-speed manual, best way to go for towing. Now, I've done my research, because I'm gonna put a 6-speed in my 12 valve sooner or later, and that's about $6,000, give or take. Labor parts, everything, right about $6,000. So that covers it for the 12 valves, you know. And then those minor things, like I said, chairs, you know, cup holders and all that, hey, you can make it work. you can suit yourself on that. Now, you got 98.5 to 02. I personally think that's the best time frame for those older engines, because the lift pump. Okay, well, go out, buy yourself an Air Dog, Fez, whatever. You know, buy a nice lift pump, put a gauge in there, watch it. Don't be stupid. You know, for $600, you get yourself a decent lift pump, and you pretty much got yourself covered. Now, don't blow up the comment section saying you're dumb and you don't know that those VP44s will blow up either way because they got electrical failure. Yeah, guys, for 300,000 miles, if you're gonna put $1,000 into a VP44, ain't no big deal. Okay, make it last 300,000 and you're set. And that's about it. You know, that's the biggest problem with those, because you get those in 6 speeds, and then you got what, 03s and up. As far as I know, now I'm not 100% sure on this. I think the 03 to 04.5 are the most fuel efficient ones out there. But I only know one story for that time frame. My buddy bought one from the dealership. He had nothing but nightmares as far as injectors go and something else. I don't want to make anything up. He had another issue. He just couldn't get it out of the way. Now, I know for a fact those highest output 5.9s, I think they're 05s to 07s. I'm guessing they're probably going to be like 04.5 to 07s. Those had major injector issues. Now, you lose an injector, and you know what I mean, you're not on board, you lose your engine. You crack a piston, pretty much. And there goes your 5.9 down the tube, you know, and so a new Cummins, a brand new crated Cummins ain't cheap either. So that's why I'm leaning towards the new stuff more and more, and with higher ratios. And that's why I highly advise you guys, 95% of you guys, if you want to get into this, buy a brand new truck. And those 5% that are mechanically inclined and want to do a temporary, or not temporary, part-time, more or less, go out, you know, buy yourself a nice clean truck. Make sure it's a 6-speed, a manual, and have fun, have at it, you know. I've talked in my other videos about hot shotting. It's not an easy business, but if you're financially set and you just want to maintain, you know, have a half decent income coming your way, there ain't no problem with that. You can make a decent living doing it. It's just, don't rely on, you know, an X amount every month, is what I'm saying. It's very inconsistent. Some months, some weeks you can make a month's worth of income. Some weeks it was nothing but a waste of time. So you gotta love this, you know. Excuse me. You gotta love doing what you're doing. I'll show you around my truck a little bit since I'm waiting for my buddy to show up. And you gotta love doing what you're doing. That's the bottom line. And it's not bad money, but you can't watch every single day what you're making, because I said sometimes it's pocket change, sometimes it's good money. Sorry for making this a very long video and mixing hot shotting and trucking. Well, not hot shotting. Hot shotting and what year truck you should buy on the Cummins. But pick your truck, get a good deal on it. Also, I wanted to underline this. Just because someone's giving you a smoking deal on a truck, don't mean it's a good deal. You know, do your research. Grab your buddy. If you're not the biggest genius when it comes to Cummins and whatnot, grab your buddy. Have him help you out. Show you the weak spots. You know, you're going to say, you mentioned all the old trucks. Why aren't you mentioning the 6.7? 6.7s, besides the EGR stuff and the exhaust systems, you know what I'm going to tell you guys about that junk. They don't have much issues besides water pumps. I don't know what the deal with these things are, but they just blow through water pumps. If you don't do a water pump by 100,000, well, by 150, it's coming off on its own. Pretty much, you lose the shaft with a pulley. Some goes haywire. It doesn't really leak. It just seizes the bearing and the chute busts it off or something. I don't know. But that's the only problem I'm seeing with 6.7s. You know, despite the EGR and the whole EPA bullcrap they got behind the engine. But yeah, guys. I really hope this video helped. I feel like a lot of people are they just want a second opinion about this whole old truck deal and what you shouldn't buy. Alright. Have yourself a mighty fine day. I'll see you later.